Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 28th, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day to ya. Hopefully you humped and didn't get humped. Unless that's what you're into, then by all means, have at it, my little rabbits. My day, it was good. It was good. It was cold. It was so fucking cold. It was frigid. I do not like looking at the temperatures and seeing negative degrees. Don't love that. I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm also not a fan of the high being in the teens. I hate that shit. Like, crank them numbers up, bro. I at least need some 20-somethings, some 30-somethings. Come on, I'm dying. But hey, it just is what it is. We kind of just had to make the most of the day. In a weird way, though, this was another perfect day in the trash can for me, just because we were backed up a bit from the snowstorm situation and literally the whole warehouse being down. Actually, our supervisor kind of described it pretty aptly. It's like we have a bit of a flash of a peak moment. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how this feels like. Which is kind of good for me because then I get to be in one place, my special little place, my happy little dumpster, my little compactor, mashing the cardboard. So yeah, that's what I did all day. It was so nice. Sans the freezing part. I literally just got so cold. It felt like my brain was like lagging out. Like I just couldn't think. Like I was like trying to be like, hey, what's the next thing I'm going to listen to? Like, what's the next podcast? I can't recall. I would just like fog out. And then I remember like 2-3 minutes later, like, oh, it's that. And then I'd go find it, whatever. So that was a bit of an issue. But I will say by the time we got to our little snack portion of the day, and by snack, I mean our little free treat from work, which was one pastry treat for some random person's or people's birthday. Cause we do like, treat day, but like one of the treats of the month is birthday related. Like, so you can get a little cookie. So I got an oatmeal raisin cookie. That kind of brought me back, kind of got me back in the game. I was like, okay, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. But yeah, shout out to that heater, keep my little hands warm a little bit. That was nice. That was cool. But yeah, overall, it was a good day. I want to make this aside though. Not being direct, y'all know I like to be vague sometimes, be a little cryptic, but I've noticed something for myself, especially like, I don't know, coming off of last weekend, whatever, just this month in general. I think I've noticed that like I'm still on my like obstinate standoffish kind of shit. Sometimes I'm still like getting into these dumb conversations they shouldn't even be arguments, but they wind up like spouting into one for X or Y reason, whatever. I've noticed my new tact, my new trend, if you will, is when someone says something that I don't like, if they are talking to me in a way that I don't appreciate, I just immediately have this like visceral reaction, whether it's in real life, whether it's over text, to just be like, ew, like, yuck, like, stop it. Like, you're just being disgusting to me. Like, why would you talk to me that way? Why would you do that? I'm your friend. Like, I'm supposed to be someone you care about. I care about you. Why are you talking to me so fucking sideways? Like, I hate that shit. And y'all know me. I'm a crash out king. I cannot help these things. And to some extent, I'm always trying to work on it. I'm trying to look within. I'm trying to see where I did wrong. And of course, I'm finding faults. Of course, I'm not a perfect person. Yes, you know this. And you know this. But like, don't talk to me crazy. I'm not talking to you crazy. I'm not talking to you wild. And if so, let's talk about that. And I can apologize and we can get over it. But you want to try to meet me? You want to go tit for tat? Come on now, don't do that. Don't do that. We're going to both have a bad night. We're going to both have a bad day. Let's not wreck each other's time. So that's kind of been a bit of a motif. And also I'm just having this like, this conclusion that I kind of keep running into in my mid-30s that like, is it that I really only have like maybe 2 or 3 motherfuckers that I can actually talk to and like get along with almost every time? Like every time I sit down, we talk, it's just good. It's smooth, like smooth sailing, smooth butter. Like, you know what I mean? It's easy. Because for some motherfuckers, it just seems like I'm cruising for that inevitable, confrontation. It's weird. And at this point, I know it's got to be me. I'm the problem. It's me, right? Okay, sure. But also, it's like, I don't even know how to work with this shit, how I'm going to, do I even want to, so these are things I'm kind of ruminating on as we're closing out the first month of the year. Just kind of thinking over all my interactions and stuff, not just today per se. But yeah, kind of back to the day in and of itself. Work was good. It was solid, besides the fucking freezing part. Post work, we go to the gym, as is tradition. At this point, I've gotten myself pretty regimented on like Advil and when I'm taking it to kind of like mitigate any kind of pain that I'm having from the foot issue. I will say that, knock on some wood, the foot issue is getting better. It's improving. I felt so much better at the gym today. The day of the gym was pretty much normal. Like, I wouldn't say I got as sweaty as I wanted to, but like, we got in there. We got engaged, baby. We activated. And not to mention we had some good cardio. And can I say, I had a really good moment. A random person came up to me and they were like, hey, gotta say, want to know what you're doing for your legs, bro. Good, you looking good. And I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you. Now I have to add an addendum here. I have to put a little asterisk because I'm like, I was so flattered, like, oh man, it's nice. People appreciating the gains. You love to see it. And it's always the gym bros that notice. It's never the baddies, and that's okay. I don't mind. Actually, that's not true. A couple of baddies do be noticing. Thank you. Appreciate you. I see you seeing me. But more times than not, it's the homies. It's the gym bros that see me in the trenches every fucking day. They see the gains and they want to, show love. They want to give daps. And I fucking love y'all for that. Thank you. The feeling is mutual. But I will add the addendum. I kind of peeped the guy throughout the day. He was talking to everybody. He's a little gym, little barfly, that guy. And so, who knows what kind of compliments he's just giving out. Okay. But look, I'll take any and all of them, baby. Okay. But no, everything was irie in the gym. Everything was great. Even though it was busy, still, we got on all our machines, hit all the equipment. It was nice. It felt like a return to form. Many people are saying daddy's home. I don't know. But no, it was good. I'm still hobbling a little bit, but overall we're making it happen. So that's good. We're making shit move. We came home, had our stretch, had our snack. I had a really long research situation, aka I lollygagged a lot, and I looked at some news, and I yapped to my friends, and I looked at a bunch of stuff, and watched on some live streams. Research. Sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes that's how an egg gets made. That's how the deals get done around here, okay? But anyway, I won't bore you with all the perils of inside baseball, how to make a podcast. I'm not here to do that with you guys right now, right? We're here to do a startup. We're here to get into some news. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Honestly, today, I wanted today to feel like an offbeat. I got it all together and I feel like it's a certified episode, but I don't know. I really don't want to like stay too long or linger on these. A lot of these things we've already talked about a good amount over the past week or so, but y'all know how the news is. You know how it moves. You know how it evolves and changes. Changes. You know what it is. So we got to do some updates. Actually, I want to say something very funny. Something that's been on my mind that made me laugh. One of my good friends, actually, that I love very much, they hit me with one of the funnier things. And I don't think they meant it in any kind of like dig or negative way. And honestly, it was as if they were reading my mind from like last year too. That's why it made me laugh so hard. But they were like, bro, like, and they hit me with this shit flat out. They're like, bro, like, so like you've been working, you've been doing your shit. I'm like, yeah, of course. They're like, so you got the cum gutters, right? And if you don't know what cum gutters are, I'm being maybe a little crass, a little vulgar here, but like someone reminded me what the actual term is, the V cut. on your body, and that core kind of leads, that little cut in your physique supposed to lead into like the groin area, very provocative zone of the body. And it's a reference we've kind of joked about here and there. Like, bro, so you telling me you ain't got the cum gutters yet, bro? And I'm like, no, bro, I don't. I'm still working on some divots. I got the fucking cul-de-sac. That's all I have. They're like, that's crazy, dude. All the work you're doing. And I'm like, I know. But then I'm like, but look at all the beers we drink. Look at all the food I just ate at Chameleon. Like, me. That is why we still have this belly. We still have these titties. Okay. So yeah, I thought it was a very funny moment. And yeah, it just took me back to, like, once again, the grind from last year where I was like, oh, if I put in all this work, I will brute force myself into a better body. And to a certain extent, that can happen. There's a bit of genetics in play, obviously what your default diet is. But especially back then, how I was eating, no way, Jose. Even how I'm eating now, like, I try to eat clean about 5 days out of the week, but I've realized that it's like, brother, you need to be eating clean pretty much every day. And you have to be doing that for like months at a time. And then you can like come off of it, but then you gotta go back on it. Like to really stick to a real diet regimen where you're cutting and losing weight to get that physique, I realize the road is much harder than I want to tread, which was how it was at the beginning. And I made some sacrifices. We got on our chicken and rice beat. I love it. But like, there's just always more to cut. And I realized that no, at some point I want to stop. And I want to still have beers with my friends. I want to fucking eat with the homies, I want to live my life and enjoy it. But really what then became important to me in those moments was I want to keep getting stronger. And maybe, just maybe, I'll get a physique that I can be okay with, all right with. But as long as I can keep lifting and fucking mashing these plates, then I'm okay with that. You feel me? Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say that little aside. It was on my mind to say, once again, it's all love. That made me laugh so fucking hard when they said that shit to me. Anyway, yeah, well, we working on them, bro. But we're gonna get CGs in 2028. There you go. CGs in 2028. Calling it. All right. Our first story from CNN. Death toll from winter storm and cold rises to over 30 as parts of South could be without power. Weeks, not days. Let's see here. Once again, this is just an update on the winter storm that took place over the week. I guess you could say a little bit of a update in terms of like another storm watch. I think over the weekend, either from like the East Coast to like up north, there's supposed to be another snow front ice storm situation. I don't know how bad. I haven't really looked into the details of it. I'm just praying, hoping it doesn't hit me in Ohio. I'm sorry, I'm a selfish man, this. I just don't want Jack Frost to see me, okay? So, but obviously thoughts and prayers, condolences go out to all the people who had to go through the real rigors of the storm. I know for me, my weekend was, I'm rotting in my bed because my foot hurts. But like, I had power, I had all my food, like we were good. I didn't have to go outside. I cannot imagine having to like go out and work, have to go through any kind of power outage, things like that. I could not fucking imagine. So truly, like, I'm with y'all if you had to go through that shit, man. Goddamn, that fucking sucks. I guess it is worth noting, too, that some of the areas that got really hit hardest, and this kind of makes sense when you think about it, Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Nashville, and Tennessee. I mean, these are southern areas that are just not prepared for any kind of weather like that. I mean, maybe Nashville. I don't know. It's in the Tennessee area. I feel like that they kind of maybe might be with it, get enough snow-ish. I don't know. But, like, regardless, I think even if you were prepared, it's still that shit hit and it was like, damn, you got like a foot of snow or more. You know what I mean? God damn, that's crazy. So yeah, just want to start off with that. I know we've talked about that a decent amount. But yeah, moving on to other stories I know we have covered a lot, and sadly, we're probably going to cover some more. From BBC News, federal agents involved in fatal shooting of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis placed on leave. 2 federal agents involved in the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis have been placed on leave, law enforcement officials tell the BBC. They go through more details or whatever. But it was just worth mentioning there that they are actually doing something here. In the situation where Renee Good, that really wasn't the case. I mean, we're talking about maybe doing an investigation here, I guess, but like that's at least something here. So at least we are seeing with in Pretti's case, hey, they're at least putting these guys on leave, which is some kind of semblance of like their understanding that people are really fucking pressed and upset about this shit. But let's see here. There's been another update that started making the rounds. Like I just caught wind of it this evening. I'm pulling this from Philadelphia 10. I think it's an NBC thing. But anyway, video shows Alex Pretti interacting with federal agents the week before his death. Now, this is something that, I don't know. I think some people are feeling like, oh, this is being put up because they want to try to show you a potential villain moment or something like a negative moment out of Pretti. Like this is something that he did that is wrong, which then can justify like killing him. If that's the case, I don't know. Or if it's just off of the, earnest thing of it's like, hey, this is another video. It shows potential more context. Either way, it's worth knowing about. That's how I'm choosing to interpret it. There's also this thing too that I fucking hate that happens that like, I pull this shit from news feeds or whatever. I see it, I watch it. Okay. Then I go online and like, I just see, it doesn't matter what side of the ideology spectrum, political spectrum, whatever you're on. People are like, well, this isn't even real. This is AI. And it's almost always to be like, well, this video doesn't fit my perceived narrative that I wanted. So it's just fake. It's just not real. And I'm like, dude, look, at least y'all know, at least from me, my take for this podcast, if I'm seeing this in multiple news sources, I have to trust and hope that they did their trust and verification process, right? So that's what I'm going to go off of until proven otherwise, truly, not just your fucking vibes that you're saying. Like, come on, bro, blow that shit out your ass. Like, can we just be adults? Probably not, but whatever. But the video is showing an altercation. You see, protesters, ICE is like, they hopped out of their cars. They're posted up. And they got like paintball guns or some shit. All their fucking accoutrement to harass fucking people. And at some point, Pretti, gets close to them, is talking to them, They wind up getting back in their cars. He continues to talk, he's talking shit to them. He's yelling at them. And he gets so upset that he winds up kicking the SUV that they're driving off with, and he kicks it like so hard that like he knocks out the fucking like tail light, and then they stop, they hop the fuck out, and they start like getting him, and they're on top of him. People are like, yo, get off him, and it was this whole thing. They stop, they do get off of him, and at some point you can see in that moment that he also has a firearm, but once again, it's not like he has it brandished. So even though he's done all this shit, even if he is being like belligerent in this video, whatever, you are not seeing him take it to the point of saying, hey, I'm going to come and just shoot all of you guys. Blah, 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 bam, bam, bam. Like, that's not what's happening. You're seeing an angry citizen who is sick of fucking ICE in their neighborhood and is sitting here protesting, and he's upset. He's frustrated. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he handled it the fucking best. I'm not saying he handled it like a goddamn Boy Scout. Okay, you got him on that. But the weirdest thing about it was, to me, was the chaotic nature of it all. Like, you have this moment unfolding, and these officers do this quick impulsive reaction, and they pounce on him, but they don't like detain him. They just like rough him up and then let him go. Like, that to me is very confusing. And then, not to mention, they realize like tensions are getting hotter, and then there's like this whole fucking like, I don't know, some kind of smoke grenade situation. I don't fucking know. And then they fucking dip out. So I'm very confused by it all, and it all feels so chaotic, but I guess that matches this operation pretty much bar for bar, point for point. Like, it just seems like, hey, we have the guise of saying we're doing this for immigration, but we're throwing our weight around here. We don't fucking care. We're going to do what the fuck we want, and you guys are going to fucking deal with it. It just seems to be the nature of these things. But does this make me feel like, oh, okay, well, Pretti's the bad guy? Even if that did, does that then justify a week later him getting fucking executed by a fucking ICE agent? No, it fucking doesn't. In each of these situations, the law enforcement should not handle it this way. This is something we've talked about time and again, and we will keep talking about it. I don't care if we're talking about it in terms of immigration, we're talking about it just your citizens in general. It doesn't fucking matter. It is handled the same by our law enforcement. This is a systematic fucking issue. And you can say, oh, well, better training will fix this. Bullshit, it will. We've seen what better training does. Oh, you ship them over to fucking Israel and they learn how to kill people easier? Come on, man. Like, be fucking for real. This isn't a training issue. This is just, you're allowing these people to do this shit and they will keep doing this shit. So, of course, you have people saying, yeah, abolish ICE. Get rid of this fucking shit. So, yeah, I mean, it's just another video to me, personally. I don't know if some people are going to take it and run with it. And hell, if it comes out and they're like, actually, it was AI. Okay, well, then I'll do that on the update, all right? But if I'm seeing this from CNN, I'm seeing this from this little, subsidiary of, like I said, NBC or whatever the fuck. Like, what's a fucking newsy to do? You know what I mean? I'm just a lowly article head. This is all I have. And I'm not paying for some big market is this AI thing. And I'm also not going to trust some random blonde-haired motherfucker on Facebook.com, Mark Zuckerberg's app. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know why I get so fucking torqued up about this shit. Like, once again, these are the conversations that do wind up arcing me up because I try to avoid them, but I still see them. And I still go, what the fuck, dude? This discourse is ass. This discourse is doo-doo from a butt, bro. You guys are fucking talking about nothing. Doing fucking nothing. Anyway, but keeping it on Minneapolis, a bit of an update on the Ilhan Omar situation that took place with the fucking crazy guy. From PBS News. Actually, let me take a water break. Y'all know I've been yapping. Oh, yeah. What's another trend we can talk about while I'm kind of thinking out loud? I know we talked about slop in previous episode, how that was like word of the year, whatever, last year, and people keep using it. For better or worse, it's just a word that we're going to keep spamming. Another thing we are spamming a lot is maxing. We're doing looks maxing. We're doing some article wanted me to click on what is gesture maxing. I don't give a shit. Like, what the fuck are we like? When is enough? Man, just be normal. I'm sure there's gonna be a normal maxing someday. Just try that, I guess. I'm sounding more and more like a boomer. I can't help it. But like, what is that doing? And my problem is I will talk so much shit, but then I will use these words on my fucking Bushimi shit. I will just use these words to try to connect with the youths. Anyway, the fucking YNs. All right, PBS News. What we're learning about the man arrested in the attack on Representative Ilhan Omar. Let's just do a quick little rundown. Anthony Kamirzak, 55, was convicted of a felony auto theft in 1989, year before I was born. Has been arrested multiple times for driving under the influence. Okay, rowdy boy. And has had numerous traffic citations. Minnesota court records show. There are also indications he has significant financial problems, including 2 bankruptcy filings. Goddamn, dude. I get you on that one, brother. Apparently, we still don't know what the fucking liquid was in the fucking syringe. But apparently it had a light brown liquid inside. So there's that. Also, it had a vinegar-like smell that was emitted from the room. So once again, I have to say kudos to Ilhan Omar for literally standing on fucking business, tanking that shit and saying, you're not taking this away from me. I'm going to do I'm going to do my speech. I'm going to say my shit and then we're going to go. You don't get to have power over me like this. No way. Fuck yeah, dude. Because I couldn't. I would have fucking... Yeah, let me run that quote back. She later posted on X, I'm okay. I'm a survivor, so this small alligator isn't going to intimidate me from doing my work. I don't let bullies win. Hell yeah. Like, once again, adults in the fucking room she's talking, okay? I'm sorry. Do I have this highlighted? I might have lost it, dude. This dude said the most wildest shit. It was so wild to me. I did not expect it. Oh, I missed it. I think I missed it in the thing. You got to give me a second to find it. I'm so sorry. Um, Here it is. This dude might be my racist MVP of the year. And I know we're starting early, okay? But man, this dude. Wow, man, my dude was like channeling on "We Are Some Charlie Kirk" shit when he said this. Let me run it back. In another post, because this is of course he's posting on fucking I don't know Facebook or whatever the fuck, some social media thing. In another post, Kazmazak asked, "When will descendants of slaves pay restitution to Union soldiers' families for freeing them / dying for them and not sending them back to Africa, bro? Bro, I never heard that one before, bro. I've heard the Southerners cry. I've seen their tears. But from a Northerner's perspective, what about the Union? They fought so hard and lost so much. And what did they get? And what was theirs? Those Negroes took everything. I've never heard this take before, and I just love a white victim who's just like, actually, no, let's talk about my ancestors. Let's talk about my good ancestors who fought so hard for your ancestors and got nothing. Where's our restitution, buddy? So anyway, here's this brown liquid, and I start squirting. Brother, you're so crazy, dude. He's so wild, man. No, you know what? You think, oh, tomatoes for this man. No, he's jumped so over the wall. I don't know. We gotta find him a special place in Tomato Town. Okay? Like, something different, not just tomatoes. We can't. Like, we need something more in 2020. Like, what is this? I've just never met this guy. Like, did AI make this man? He's so crazy. Following the fatal shooting of conservative activists, by the way, okay? Not just some random talking head who was just there to fucking be a debate lord, fucking troll. Conservative activists for the youth. It's crazy they didn't even add that. PBS, what the fuck? That's why you're defunded. Charlie Kirk in September. Kazmazak, for a time, changed his profile picture on Facebook to an AP photo of Trump embracing Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk. Dude, he's so unhinged. Man, it's so unhinged, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's really all I wanted to pull. I just wanted to talk about that brown liquid and his thoughts about brown people and the Union. I thought it was important. I just couldn't believe that man existed, like, and had takes like that, man. No, AI could not make that, man. I believe that AI is not there yet. We have to hit AGI, and AGI couldn't even. Okay, all right. Get AGI 2 in the room before you have them make that man again. Anyway, okay, BBC, let's go. We actually got a couple more stories. South Korea's ex-first lady jailed for 20 months of bribery. The wife of South Korea's ousted former president has been sentenced to 20 months in jail for accepting bribes from the controversial Unification Church. So, another Moonies reference from last week, a little bit there. However, the court cleared 52-year-old Kim Keon-hee on charges of stock price manipulation and receiving free opinion polls from a political broker before the 2022 presidential election, which her husband Yoon Suk-yeol won. Yoon has already been sentenced to 5 years in jail for abusing power and obstructing, excuse me, I could not obstruct that burp, and obstructing justice in relation to his failed martial law bid in 2024. This marks the first time in South Korea's history that a former presidential couple are convicted at the same time. Dude, okay, can we stop though? Can we stop? Can we hit pause? Is this our Bonnie and Clyde though? Are they kind of iconic Bonnie and Clyde? It's kind of giving. And I say good for them. Locked up together, okay? Bounded by not just love, but also crime. Yeah, I forgot. I don't even want to say forgot. I just couldn't get to it. There was a lot of stories, and I had to take some time off. My foot, life, it just got in the way. So there were stories. But technically, this story is like, I think he was sentenced like the 16th of this month. So I've just been lacking, and for that, mea culpa. But I was able to catch up with both of these guys. I figured, hey, let's just do the bundle. Let's just do the meet cute, little cutesy, little romantic bundle. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see it. I love a good corruption story. I love a good, just a political comeuppance moment. This man, and we're shifting to Yoon here, had his whole ass political fucking tantrum at the potential cost, the expense of his country. Was fine with that, down for that. Also crazy, we're noting loyal audience, like loyal fucking constituents were backing him the entire time. Still are. Still like, this is crazy. I can't believe this. He was trying to stop these communists. North Korea. Crazy. Like, so that alone was a thing. But then on top of it, the fact that they were both just fucking scamming. They're both grifting on top of it. It's just, that's a chef's kiss. I love it. So like, once again, I love a bundled couple doing crime. I love bundled crimes where we're talking a little bit of politics. We're talking a little bit of political grift or scamming, whatever. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good for me. It's good for my body. It's good for my soul. At least talking about these guys getting got. Okay. All right. And we could go through more of the details. It's definitely worth talking about it, but for time's sake, we are just going to move along to our last story for the night. But yeah, I love a good political downfall, man, especially for the motherfuckers who deserve it. I'm sorry. Okay. But fuck them. Anyway. Yeah. And you know what? It could have been so much worse. Like, it's so crazy. The stakes at the beginning of this is like, especially for Yoon, and maybe both of them, like there was a potential, like, death sentence or life sentence. Like, I mean, so yeah, 5 years, you're getting off easy, bud. It's all good. You'll be out. Don't worry. Maybe don't do martial law when you don't have to. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we're finally gonna get to cover some good news. Okay, none of that bullshit. All right. Actually, speaking of good shit, and speaking of news I didn't cover, I let fall through the cracks, George Bush style. There was a story, I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't fucking remember, of some fucking cow that, an actual factual moo cow, was able to scratch its back or something with like its tail, like it got like a brush or something, and it taught itself how to do it. I don't know, man. It was one of those that I was gonna cover. Y'all know I do like a cutesy little story, but like I just he wasn't feeling like even doing the keystrokes to pull it up. It just wasn't worth it, I'm like, leave that to a weird podcast person or something, or Good Vibes podcast starring John Krasinski. Like, leave that to them, okay? Give me the crime. Give me the dead bodies. Okay? That's what we're about here at the fucking newsstand, all right? Anyway, from NPR. Spain will grant legal status to immigrants lacking authorization. I can say words. Spain will grant legal status to immigrants lacking authorization. There we go. Spain's government announced Tuesday it will grant legal status to potentially hundreds of thousands of immigrants living and working in the country without authorization. The latest way the country has bucked a trend toward increasingly harsh immigration policies imposed in the United States and much of Europe. The extraordinary measure will be implemented by expediting a decree to amend immigration laws, according to Spanish Minister of Migration Elma Size. I think it's Size, we're going to say Size. Bypassing a similar bill that has stalled in Parliament. Eligible immigrants will be granted up to 1 year of legal residency as well as permission to work. I feel like it's a big deal. I feel like this is a nice step forward that it's just so rare for me to see in just my short years of coverage. like I always talk about that bird's eye view and what I see from it, and it always bums me the fuck out to see things like not just become more conservative, but then also be taking on this like isolationist veneer, this otherization of like, oh, we're gonna do the populist trope of blaming all of our issues on just people who look different than us, you know, the real people who are supposed to be here, quote unquote, whatever. And like just trying to slice up the conversation, slice up everything along these fucking lines and just keep stoking these fires over and over and over again. And like I've seen the most rational people, some of the like most caring, close people in my life, and it almost makes me fucking emotional thinking about it, get so fucking tight over some shit like a border. Like, be for real, bro. Like, it's just so weird to watch someone lose their humanity over some shit like that and think that their safety is being put in jeopardy, that they're being put in peril because God forbid someone come here in a way that they think and deem unworthy. So I really like the notion that saying, hey, maybe for a change we try to switch it up. We do something a little bit different and give people a chance to be here and be citizens and not have to look over their shoulder, not have to struggle to fucking find work, man. Like, because regardless, you need these people. Like, it's so, there's a fucking certain kind of irony that you can't ignore from all of these countries fucking crying and crowing about their low birth weight, their low growth rates, all this fucking bullshit. Guess what, man? No one wants to have fucking kids. Everyone fucking hates here. You know, the people who do want to have kids, people who are coming here starting a new life wanting to start over, you know? Like, that shit just kind of happens sometimes. People just kind of get in a good mood when they're fucking flipping the script on their life in a good way, in a great way. When you let them, you know? So for starters, that's something. Also, you just need the bodies, whether they're having babies or not. So, fuck. Like, the notion that keeping people out is going to somehow make your life better in 2026 is just crazy to me. Like, it makes me feel like I'm living in some kind of Gangs of New York timeline that we just didn't, like, move out of. And, like, I'm gonna see, like, Daniel Day-Lewis with the fucking rabbit out of his balls come and attack me. Like, I don't get it. We shouldn't be living like this, man. What the fuck? Just be, to me, I would just think this is just be normal. Just treat people like you would want to be treated no matter where they're fucking from, bro. But, I mean, hey. Here we are, you know, in America, we gotta know, hey, what's your accent? Let me see your fucking papers. You know what I mean? I gotta fucking hassle you for this shit, man. It's fucking wild, man. I don't know. But anyway, I said we were gonna close on a good note, and I'm getting caught up in the miasma. But no, this to me is good news. There's obviously some more details here, of course. Details. Y'all know that's where the devil is. That's what I say. But a lot of it is like people crying from either the right, like center right, the moderates, or you know, people from the far left or far right, I should say, far right for sure. Just mad, like just really fucking upset that there's like, I can't believe we're gonna let these people, you know, stay here. That's crazy. You're gonna ruin the fabric of our society. And it's like good that at least some people are seeing that, like, hey, if we completely keep like running the model that is Trumpism, we are going to wind up like America in all the wrong ways. And we don't want that at the end of the day. Like, you don't want the uncool shit when it comes to America, but here people are, you know, kind of adopting that shit kind of in a worldwide way that I've talked about. But I'm hoping, and this is like maybe a hope against hope, I don't know, that stuff like this maybe, you know, we'll see a bit of a change over the next years to come. But I don't know. And who's to say even that change is going to keep getting to a progressive point? Man, imagine what if. Anyway, that's it. That's really where I want to leave it for today. That's going to be the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/AZNews. Become a newsie today. Roll call is coming up soon. It's coming up February. So yeah, if you love me, no, you can, you know, become a newsie today, you know, or whatever. You don't have to. But yeah, we do the roll call. Yeah, I don't want to do all that shit. You know, if you know, you know. Free ways to hit me up as AZNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcast. Wherever you like to listen. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify. 5 stars on Apple Podcast. always appreciated. It's always nice when you do that. Good for the algo, good for the vibes. But if you don't, that's okay. Because really, the true vibe, the real good vibration is just the ability to be able to talk to you. Just every day, you can just tune in and hear my dumb little voice talking about my precious little life and, attempt to explain the news. So yeah, it's a fun, grand old time. I appreciate you just being on this walk with me, being on this journey with me as you, I don't know, operate a forklift, drive your car to I don't know, a vacation spot. Ooh, that sounds nice. Ooh, hopefully it's warm. I don't know, do whatever you're doing. Maybe you're doing hot yoga. Hell yeah, if you're doing hot yoga, dude. Honestly, one day, Marvel One Day, I want to hope that people are catching a nice pump, like getting a nice workout. Okay, which that actually sounds so unhinged. I have worked out the news before. I don't enjoy it. I usually save it for the cardio portion of the day. Kind of throws me off talking about or thinking about news. But I have looked at some news while I'm on the doing my incline bench. Wait a second, what happened? Who did what now? So these things happen. Newsies know. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I will see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.